Well, the Nigerian Exchange Limited opens the market or the week on Monday on a positive note. And if you look at some of the figures we'll show to you in a moment now, the market appreciated by 0.94% to close at 53,000. Closing in on 54,000 mark there. And then, of course, the following day, you all share index appreciated as well. You have 0.15%, closing in at 53,238.67 basis point. While year to date settles at 3.88% to close the final trading day. Of course, that's the early in the week there as the market closed the month of January positive there. With the year-to-date settling at 3.88%. And of course, you have also in the week, the market also gained at 0.93%. And of course, today, the market also closed on a bullish note with 0.4% gain as well. So this, of course, the market has been bullish in the week, but the truth of the matter is that how bullish it is another question. Some analysts would describe it as marginal. So let's bring in Ambrose Omodion, who is joining us now. And of course, we'll bring in Mokhtar, who is also joining us virtually later. Talk to us about this figure. How bullish was the week? I know some people describe it as marginal. If you look at the numbers, the figures between Monday and today.
This is a really bullish market. Market again 2.95 in a week is a bullish market, no matter how you discuss it. Because the previous week we had a 0.16. The brother you have last week, the 2 weeks back we have a 0.16. Last week we have a marginal of 0.12. Seeing a 2.95, this is a huge gain for a week. Therefore, straight 5 days we had a bullish run from Monday to Friday. It tells you that the market is hot. Anybody that say that the market is marginally is person saying something else. This market is hot. Why I say so? Because you can see that the factors that impacting the market remain positive, even increasing. Because I tell you, whatever is happening in the economy today is impacting negatively on some sector. Why positively on some sector? No, I tell you that as people are complaining about Naira design and other stuff, the bank sector will be laughing and be smiling because it have a war of also impacting them. Also, if you look at what happened in all the results that hit the market, I will tell you, starting from the banking sector.
Just before you go on to the
no, I'm just telling you market activities. I'm not looking at it. I'm just telling you the general overview of the market as you asked. Yeah. Okay. If you look at the performance of the banking sector, which I know is most of them are the top kind of volume for the market for the week. You can see the result that came from those we call them second-tier banks result, and even that came from Stanbic. So that this result, you can see that the banks have done well in terms of performance. You will also move to the medical sector, which is the healthcare sector. Result that came from Fixing, one that came from me and Baker, came from GSK. These are good numbers. You also move to the oil and gas sector, the one that came from even all the numbers that came this time. I'll tell you that they beat expectation. Only few companies posted their disappointing numbers, which I know the market also treated them that way because those stocks, I see them, they're also going in the southward direction. For me, the week I've been outstanding for what for investor, and I tell you that it's just two things that are driving the market. Yes, time is very, very important. If you're investing anything, you need to look at I said it in this program last week, what is the return rate and what is the time space it will take you to get that return. If I seen that in equity market, we are seeing some company give you a dividend yield of just between 11 to 13% in some stocks, plus capital position, and on a short period between now and end of May, March, for them to have for their closure period of payment day. I believe that this is what is driving the market as we speak now. And also, I will tell you, as far that oil price remain above $80, companies that are in business in Nigeria, that banks have lent money, will also be able to to pay back their work to serve it. That on this note, we're seeing that this quarter, being the first quarter of the year, in Nigeria market is always the peak for any season, and that earnings that are supported the market from 2020 to date have been these earnings, and these earnings have been outstanding for me because I say it must also here that it is earnings that a price feed on what on earnings. If earnings are positive, price is about to go up.
All right. I mean the reason why some people look at it as marginally, not the cumulative now, but each of these days, for instance, the market closed today by 0.4%. That's 0.4%. Some people say, okay, it's marginal if you look at it, but cumulatively, you will say it's a bullish week. But let me quickly go to Mokhtar. Mokhtar, I don't know if you can hear me, but if you're there now, so let's have your thoughts on this.
Andrew said it all. He's the master with the data and everything. So yes, Ross.
Okay.
He said it all, and I totally agree with him. The market is bullish.
Yeah.
We know why the market is bullish. It has to do with the results, expectant result, and those results that has come in also. So definitely, investors are looking at opportunities in the midst of the challenges that we are undergoing, especially in the area of the currency scarcity or petroleum scarcity. But I think the market is responding positively to most of those things that are happening, whether because you expect that the banks will be able to sort out the problem sooner than later. So for me, I think it was a good week, especially if you're an investor that bought at a very low price. It was a very good week.
Okay. Let's just stay on that a little bit, but this time let's take it holistically and look at January to date. Of course, the market performed about almost 4% from January to now. So, what would you say was the driving factor for the performance of the market in the month of January so far?
Well, definitely is the dividend payout. Nigerian investors love dividends. So they don't, especially when you are in an economic situation like this, dividend, liquidity become kings and cash become king. And then what you are seeing that if you look at those numbers, most of those stocks that are benefiting from this dividend, for this capital appreciation, are companies that are going to pay dividends, one, and then companies also that the first, second, and third quarter result has been very good. So investors are beginning to look at them, queuing towards the payment of dividends, because some of these companies have a record of paying dividends on time and when due. So definitely, I think that what basically have driven the market since January to date has to do with the good dividend payout, expected dividend payout from those companies, and also we must not take away the low valuation of some of these stocks. Like a stock like GTCO moved from a low of about 16 naira 70 kobo to now 25 naira 40 kobo. There was no reason why it should be selling at that price. So definitely, we are beginning to see investors begin to see value, because what we see is that investors are doing what I call value investment. They are looking at companies that have fundamentals. Some of them are moving from highly volatile equity to a more stable, fundamentally strong equity.
Okay, so Ambrose, I mean, you talked about the fact that the earnings that are coming into the market, I mean, was also a booster for the performance, overall performance. So let's wrap it up on this analysis of the week now. So, so if you look at the trends of the results that have come into the market up to date, so which sector would you say, of course we'll get into that now, but which sector would you say was the most driving sector for the overall performance of the equities market?
For me, I would say start with the banking sector, because I think that stock is the toast of investor in Nigeria before the listing of the telecoms, and the telecoms are not doing badly. Like I just said earlier, if you look at the result that came from MTN, you know, MTN paying 10 naira final dividend against 5 naira 90 what they pay in 2021, says that this is a reward value for investor. And not only that, you know, every investment we do is not only for just the moment. We look at the future, because every investment is again the future. And this is a sector that you see that we are going digital around the globe. And if this one is the driver of digital business in Nigeria, the telecom will tell you that they have come for a business. They've moved into money, mobile money. They are moving into another, 5G. I believe that this also support MTN, bottom line. And also for investors to be very sure what they are doing. I tell you, not seeing only the figure alone. You need to look at have three structure, in financials of any company. You have your profit and loss account. You have the balance sheet. You have the cash flow. What you do as an investor, once you are seeing this number, after seeing the profit and loss account of this company, you want to know if the company has all it takes to support that number you are seeing, because paying you dividend the first time today for this year, what will come by next year, because yes, like Muta said, some of them are long-term investors. They're looking for value, contract investors, stock that you know that they have potential to go. That means you need to know what are those potential in this company. Do they have good cash flow? If they have, that means you can put your position. I believe that the numbers we are seeing are really excellent for most of the sector. But like I said, starting from the banking sector, you move to the telecom. The result that came from the third quarter result that came from Airtel was also fantastic compared to the full year that came. There are two different. One has matched as year end. won't have the same. But I mean, when we are comparing this number, you need to look very careful because one are giving you the whole year activities, while we are giving you just 9 months activity. But I see that the two companies, the result that came from also was very good. Then also, if you look at the result that came from the agricultural sector, especially the Okomu and Presco, these are unaudited accounts, but we give investor an insight what is likely to happen at the end of the audited account. Also, knowing the company dividend payout policy and their payout ratio will give an insight to what to do as an investor. Now you are seeing this figure. That's why, like Muta said, people are looking at this number to position for the final dividend because only two companies are giving you real dividend as we speak.